Spinning circles. Let's see. Test number 3, baby. Test number 3. It's fun to go live. I hope that the signal gets better. I really do. You know what I mean? This would be, wait a little bit, but I hope this signal gets better. Thank you. Welcome. What am I doing? Volleyball. So now you know. Whoa. Bam. Now, the power of the symbology is the part that I noticed. You think about the switching out in Latin, okay, of the O versus a U. That is a broken. Interesting. Listen, this is occurring. The circle comes a U. Now imagine that the points of the U are a representation of the legs. And what's in the center is obviously the vagina. Now, circle round. The O is the protection of innocence and the honoring of the sovereignty goddess versus switching to that. And I'm like, that's what I thought anyway. Switching from Latin. Now, if you switch back over to Volvo, think about the resonance and web of word and spoken words speaking reality into existence. The vibration. So either love or fear. That's how I see it. Either you have in your tribe, let's just say we're all related within our tribe. I'll just say the Belgae tribe or, Belgium, since I have that through, I think the last name Shoop, something like that. Okay. Now, then I read, I'm like, okay, I know I'm hardcore, but holy shit. So the Belgae people are known, G-A-E, right? E-E-L-G-A-E, or battle fury. And I'm like, whoa. So then that is located on the map right next to Germania. But what predates Germania? Are you catching what I'm saying? Now, let me explain. Germanicus was a general, just like Africanus was over in Africa, in which overwrote the name of the land, right? So that is overriding the spoken word name of their whatever individual sovereignty gods. That is the point. That is why that was built over as a sign of dominance. Now, if you remember what I said about 2 male horses, okay? This is no comment on whatever orientation. It's a point of visual and a visceral feeling of what that would feel like if you were the other horse putting up with the bullshit. So you have a stallion, right, versus a gelding. So that stallion decides he wants to show his dominance. So he gets an erection and he hops on the back of the other horse. That has nothing to do with sexuality, really, other than him saying, I am dominant. Okay. We've had to save horses from other horses that were overly aggressive, right? You had a little smaller horse and a larger horse had cornered it. And he was kicking the shit out of the horse. We had to get like 4 cowboys in there and freaking regulate. Get them out, right? Because all hands on deck when you got a big ass barrel horse like that decides his name was Bull and that he wanted to kick the shit out of all the other horses. So we had to take him and put him in a separate paddock. That is no different than, say, being in a tribe and acting out of hand, hurting other people, whether that is intellectually, right? Spiritually, emotionally, all of it. You have to be aware of it. How can you even have a resonant note in your circle without that? What are you saying to everyone else? Right? What's in the center? The I-O principle, right? This is your I, then your O. That is the circle. That is ancient. How do I know that? I can feel it. I have lived it. I have seen it. That is what the whole maypole thing is about. the I-O principle. Hello. The tree and the soil. That simple. So it's honoring the connection, and then you have health, right? And growth and all of that, versus dominating. Because then you will never have the highest level of multiplication within growth until both forces, free wills, are in harmony. It means that it's not by force. It's like interconnectedness of mushrooms underneath the ground, right? The root system, to keep it simple. And we, as a tribe, had that broken and interfered with a long time ago. Now, battle fury only comes when it's the protection of innocence, not being out of control. No. You see? Like, okay, for instance, when I had my ritual interrupted by an, they don't understand. You're going through a process. And so the officer is overdoing it. So what's the subduing the sovereignty of the land, right? But the misunderstanding of women puts their men at risk. Why? Because the sovereignty goddess is over the land, and you are a physical representation of that on earth, in my opinion, of course. And the man has his sovereignty aspect as well. Both principles are necessary in order to have multiplication of tribe. So that is where honor comes in, to sow the seed and not waste it and throw it in the fire. With the technical etymology of the word F-A-G-G-O-T, right? The actual meaning, with no sexual association, was a bundle of wood you would throw in the fire. Alrighty? Now, that has zero to do with sexuality. It's a representation. Any thought could be that, right? But also, you're putting it in there to build the fire. Well, what does it mean, right? Well, they have those bundles that are sitting there on money, right? Representation. Or a bundle of arrows, something like that, huh? So you look at your money and you will see symbology all over it, sitting there, pillars, whatever. And people don't even realize it, using money every single day. That is a Freemasonic document, period, end of statement. All right? So what do? How do you survive when you don't want to use the coin of the crown? Now, where did the dollar come from? Spanish dollar, pieces of 8. Alrighty? So what does that mean? That means that the Spanish dollar was dominant. And that is where the United States currency came from. So what is this about? What is in 13 years? 100-year anniversary of what? Crash of the stock markets. Here, kaboom. Now, I consider that we are living in Back to the Future 2, and that Biff is president. You go watch that movie and you tell me. I don't know, man. Holy shit, what happened? So it's like, has reality become a Hollywood movie? You catch what I'm saying? Like, how much of what we see is just contrived versus how could we have a better existence rather than let's dominate each other, right? That doesn't work. You got to hold the ground, sure, but allow, I want to be my own tribe. Let's say I'm in that tribe, I call it the Battle Fury tribe, basically. Battle gay, something like that. And does that have anything to do with being gay? No. What does the word gay mean? To be happy. All right. Original terminology, etymology. Back again. No sexual reference. Now, rainbow spectrum has nothing to do with that either. Although a spectrum of reality and consciousness could be different forms of sexuality, having hues of light. I don't know. Just say different vibration, intention, emotional energy. So as a straight male, I ended up learning those skills on developing emotions at an early age. It made my life interesting. But that is why you must do things with passion. Otherwise, it's cardboardville. Huh? Inspire. So what am I doing here? I want to create a flame of inspiration for others to do the same. Because doing what I've done helped me crawl out of a pit of despair. Like Princess Bride, it kind of felt like that. Like having all happiness drained from you, and all you have is a small seed or ember of something left. And that is how I felt, honestly. Very honestly. I am an honest person, and I'm doing this on purpose because I'm tired of bullshit. Where you get up here and you're like, hey, I am this and alrighty. And I'm like, whatever. You know, what do you feel? That's why I went to the one main channel I was going to, is because I enjoyed that it was visceral, that person, that she is passionate about what she's doing. And the moment that's out the window and negativity takes over, the resonance of the energy goes down. Therefore, I, as a healer and energy worker, don't want to hang out in that vibe. Is that clear? I want to hang out in good vibe, Loveville. Thank you very much. Tribe is awesome. How about that? That sounds like a better wavelength to me. So I was like, wow, battle fury. But what about creative fury? That doesn't have to be negative, right? And so that's what I saw. Shield Maiden Fury. And I was like, wow. Yeah. And I was sitting here watching things for 2 years. And I'm like, okay, how long am I going to be ignored? A long time. It's only like within the last few months that I've even been noticed. Before that, I was shelved. You know, that's how I felt. Dusty on the shelf. I just could do my own thing, but I am solitary. I'm not this, I have never belonged to big groups. Never. Now, going to the drum circle, see at Liberty Park, right? We have our tribe down there. But for many years, I just kind of slowly stopped going there. But in the 90s, we were raging, and we had a drum circle that was so badass. Beyond. And ain't no cheesy ass concert gonna replace that shit. We vibrated the walls of the canyon until a giant piece of stone fell off and hit. And when that hit, it was the biggest bass sound you'd ever hear. Go boom, like thunder went off, like a big bomb. But it was that loud. You're like, whoa. We were down inside of a bowl drumming, and we'd been drumming there for, a few days. And toward the end, that happened. And I was like, wow. And so I was supposed to travel with this other group of people. And then they were in a van, whatever, all right? But my other friend, who had a van also, it was just him. He asked me, say, hey, Robert, you need a ride? I was, after I told him that the other people said they didn't have room for me. So anyway, we part ways, and they leave. So he goes off the side of a cliff in that van with a full load of people. Everyone survived, but check this out. The driver had both arms shattered, multiple places, fractures, legs as well. So he's in a wheelchair with pins afterwards. Now, everyone else, because his arm was out the window when the van went. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? They were able to put him back together. Amazing, actually, that he overcame that. But My friend who's in the back of the van was sitting back there with the driver's daughter. She's a little girl. So I was a 5-year-old that was in the van when it went over the side. My friend propped himself between and laid flat on the seat and shoved his legs so hard that he could hold himself in place. Some kind of energy aura or something protected him, but I don't know, but that was next level. Whoa. So not one scratch was on that little girl. That's the kind of protective love energy I'm talking about. And I'm not playing around. You see, coming from the heart, that's what I mean. That is amazing. I will remember that my whole life. Are you hearing me? Wow. But around my other friend that died before he passed away, he was 24 when he passed. I'd known him since I was young, teenager. Really cool guy, used to organize circles, you know. His name was Open Smiles. And we had a giant circle of people. We didn't call ourselves hippies. We called ourselves the circle. Big difference. So it's like Rainbow Coalition. So what's that mean? A whole bunch of earth-based people gathering, 30,000 people out there in the forest. We went to the woodland. And that was the gathering I was at in Wyoming in 1994 when the forest fire came. And my friend Open Smiles would help gather free kitchens and do things like that. Very folkish, very tribal. We used to travel and perform together. And we were some of the first people to do fire performance at Liberty Park at night. You know, we would do it every Sunday and dance, new fire dancing. I would do staff, and I would also do torches, so I would juggle them, whatever, you know, catch them behind my back, something like that. And it's amazing. It's really cool. But I felt something hanging in the air, bothering my friend for so long, and I started to wonder. Either it's one of two things, psychological issues or more than that. Somebody playing around with energy. Occultists, high-level people hurting others using electromagnetic frequency and light. Therefore, being able to astral project. Now, I had a theory about Tesla. If you had that tech and you could hook something up, say to your head, you could use that and project a signal, just like Xavier from, Professor X or something. And this is something I've thought about for a while. I'm like, But the ancients didn't need that shit. You see, because they themselves were the generating force. So I thought about that in context to say the supernova vulva. What did I mean by that? Does that sound like a joke? It's not. A pulse of energy goes out from the center of a being like that, not just one. Uncounted numbers. Did you hear what I just said? One has the aura of a sun. Just one. What would a whole planet be able to do? Are you hearing what I'm saying? That's my view of reality. That is how I view future. That's how I see it. That would be cool. But ultimately, you would imagine you had that kind of power, but you could live in a way where you were living with the land versus scrambling, worried, all this shit. But instead of that, tribe. Now, isn't that better? I feel it is, because the spiritual energy of the tribe will generate beings on a much higher level, right? So say, I'm an O-negative male, which I am, and then I hook up with a O-negative female, that's to her greatest and highest benefit. So let's say I'm asleep. All right, O's can just have sex with whoever, and it will not matter who they have a baby with. Did you hear what I said? Because I am a universal blood type. However, she cannot. She will have to have a shot. So for me to have control of myself to find her, how much focus do I have to have when I am what? 7% of the population or some shit? Makes my choices limited if I want to stay true to that, which I do. But any O-negative female will have to find somebody who is a negative, right? Rhesus negative blood type, whatever, A, B, pick one. But the closer to yours it is, the more likely it is to have a good connection, and the more likely it is that there's a closer relation, therefore creating a greater harmony. Does that make sense? I think it does. And I'm like, that's interesting. Drum circle, O keeps coming back, sovereignty goddess. And I'm like, and think about that. What's the connection? Sovereignty over the land. Yep. Wow. So it rained pretty heavy. And that's good, but things are shifting. And I find it very interesting that earthquake happened with the timing that it happened with. And I'm like, whoa. So I was just thinking, ever since I saw that planet of the vulvas, that's all I can think about now. I'm serious, because it was like a being that could just float in the air and is surrounded by light. That is so awesome. You're like, wow. And you hear like the visceral voice of what that would be, you know what I'm saying? But just imagine sound system the size of the sun. How powerful is that? Now imagine there is infinite energy that is like that. But what kind of realms exist? I would probably say multi-spectrum realms. And then the hue man, and you're in your tone. You're like, well, our tribe's here, right? And of course, you got your admixture in between and all of that. Really think about reality. But the key note is this: our personal tribal memory is who we are. Yes, I did that on purpose. Now, whatever their symbology is, I'll just use it as a representation of the sovereignty goddess over land, air, and sea. Ooh, yeah. Kaboom. I don't know. How is my signal? If the signal is still choppy, don't give me a thumbs up. If the signal is good, this is where I have help. You're the only one I have to help me. No one else is going to tell me. Whoever's in you right here, okay? Is the signal any better? If it is, thumbs up. If it's about the same as last time, then don't give me a thumbs up. Okay? This is technical test. So it's about the same? Okay. Now, music. I felt the vibe, baby. Supernova Vova. Hey, that's gonna be it. That's there forever. Just so you know, that's in the set. Yep. Robert loves witches. Did you figure that out yet? Yes, I admit it. Golf. Forever. I know. Just take the edge off just a little bit. Ooh, nice. The wind's increasing. You can smell it. That was so trippy. I'm sitting back here and I'm sitting in my chair and I'm like, what the hell? So I'm feeling my chair start to shake. Vibrated the ground. There's the timing of everything. Especially the fact that I was studying the Slav epic. Need the Queen of Elpine to come back. Like, I'm a little traumatized. The ground just shook. Can you please help us, sovereignty goddess? We're in deep shit. And I go, I know where we're going. That's what I said. Trouble on the wind, so they say. Storm building overhead. Storm overhead, he says. And the trouble on the wind, you know. Won't you walk my way? Lovely as a stream in a summer day, my love, down by the shoreline, my love. Here on the wave, I'll be waiting down on the shoreline, my love. Shores of summer rain can rain all the time. Can rain all the time. He said you are pouring rain. Brandon Lee remembers. It's the only crow I know anyway. Oh, better be a dark hand, hey. When the crow comes back to say, don't you know we're almost born on the same day? And I'm the crow come back to say, whoa. Supernova Bova said, you know, I'm not playing games anymore. Said Supernova Bova said, you know. So I stare in her eyes and the rattle in her voice. Said, trouble on the wind, said, you could see vision. Vision, oh, she could see. Circle your hand round the crystal bowling dream. Circle all around, circle all around. Grandmother's crystal orb, you said. What's in the center, see? Love of tribe and family. It's all we have anyway. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Oh. Saw you down there. You see, you see me anymore. I don't know, but I'll be there on the side of the road, waiting on my people. So I came here to see if she would meet me on the shoreline. Oh, by the power of the goddess peace. Grandmother, and fasted on the day. So if you're out there, you can feel the rumble, rumble, rumble. Say, heart and soul, she said. Up here until the down, I can never see. Will you bless my heart and soul? Will you bless my soul? For I fall away. Sovereignty got us on the way. Straight from my heart root to my tribe, resonating deep down in a heart you know. Where do you think the music comes from anyway? Comes from heart root and folk soul. Hail to the mountain, hail to the mountain, hail to the mountain. Trouble down the city, you know, way down low. I know why the children cry, but I'm calling now. For my people in the suburbs. Will you gather circle round, say, to grow circles up ahead, straight up out of the ground, straight up out of the ground. real wide neck, you know, was silky smooth like a druidess from ancient old. Whoa, but she was strong to be. She endures forevermore. All jealous of the rainbow. Say no from the rooftop where you shine and weave and soul the sea. Oh, oh, deep down, sail from the deepest well of a man's heart I can stand till the wheels fall out. That's what they say. No. Spinning wheel round sail. Whatever happens, happens. Say resonate from the center of the circle round. Sovereignty goddess as the pole goes in the ground. Oh, maypole popping on the breeze. Maypole popping on the breeze. Oh, when the witches put it in the ground. Sacred circle round. This is my right, oh, 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 right, oh. Pass it down the way, said. See you on the shoulder. Well, I'll meet you on the edge, looking over the cliffside, yeah. My brother man will find my brother sister. Sons and daughters of the sovereignty goddess. Grandmother stuck around. Grandfather in the woodland bee, I said, I am Robin Nile. Wood and stone. Edges circle around the corner. Forever. See ashes to the ground as we sit. If this is the end, and it's rock and roll side, which way to go? You could say you didn't know. You could say you didn't know. But I can see. Can you see to say what you know? Maybe so. Well, the king, to sell his master, work down the river. Came for the legacy of his people, and he said no. Was the slogan epic? Whoa! She told the sky. Grandfather's walking in the ocean. Grandmother's flying in the sky. See you over water in the sovereignty of the sky. Till the wind's gone, they said, go, go, go. More gone, more gone, more gone. Sovereignty goddess of the way, shine. This is not for your entertainment. This is for glory. Grandmother will walk and walk away. Whoa. Grandmother in my heart and soul, the central note to all I know. Web of wood, yeah. Web of a weirding word, sovereignty of the land. On the breeze, baby, come on. Smooth as I ever be, baby, come on. How could I be any other way, you see? Oh, would you give me a kiss before I jump into the void? I wanna keep on going and running, fizzle out like an ember. We burn white hot in the center circle. Grandmother, easy on the breeze. I know I was waiting there. You walked my way and fasted on the day with the virtue intact. Gotta say, sovereignty. Gotta say, grandmother. 17 on the land. Say, you know, send me a message on the line. Bobcat Trooper keeping time. Yeah. You walk my way. Rise on the side of the moon, shining, shining. We all don't just be a copycat. Gonna be original. I need you in the circle around. All my folders that are original. Say, all my traditions circle around. Wise living all around me. And on and circle around, say, heal on down, deep down in a circle around. Oh, see you down, yeah. Where you going? Can you see? They told me, why you squinting over there? I ain't squinting. Some the eyes of my people look. I'm Swedish. What do you expect? It's rude. Yes. Oh, Casper. Hey, Casper, the ghost over there. What you doing? I said, that's right. They call me White Ninja. One hot flashlight, light, flashlight, light, flashlight, light. Flashlight, light, flashlight, light, flashlight, light. Oh, strike like lightning. That's what they say. Feel the thunderous shockwave. Thank you. And that's pain releasing that you hear. This is not some bullshit performance. These are my feelings. This is me living my spiritual dream. And I will not throw that in the garbage. And that is forever. And they can have everything else, but they cannot have that, and I will keep that forever, and I am that. We are that. So let's be that. And resonate protection of that, because anything else isn't doing that. And that is what was hurting. And so I let it go. Because I said it, and it is known. So I hope this turns out well. We'll see. I've lived with oppression and discrimination most of my life. And I still remember walking every weekend to the club, go to the goth club, 16 and up, called Club Confetti's in Sugar House, 21st South 9th East area, Salt Lake. They built over it, Walgreens, whatever. But back in the day, that's where we would go. And so, an escape from the whole conservative horseshit scene, right? Started studying the occult early on in life. But my own path, more natural, more like Robin Hood, I guess. But the sovereignty goddess is always central. Hey, straight guy, what do you expect? But I also learned from grandmother, that's not sexual, that's wisdom. See the difference? Grandfather too. Well, she sits on the high seat, cause grandfather said, hey, Druidess, seeress, witches of the way, shine, 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 like a white hot ember. You shine in me, I need you now. Wise man of the forest be in the woodland. Need my brother, my sisters around. Oh, sovereignty in the land. to the lane. Gotta be easy on. Yeah, the swords clash on the side of the door. Riding while the wheels spin. I'm gonna ride on the wheel spinning round like you got now, sir. To bring it into the circle round, oh. Circle round, oh. Easy on. Easy on. Oh. Which way? If you wanna find me, I'll be with Bobcat and the Truth Keepers riding on the sea. Robin, oh, I am wood and stone and bone. Robin of the woodland, I Bobcat on the elf ranger. On the medallion, on the medallion, yeah. Oh, medallion, on the medallion, on the medallion. Ranger in the woodland, grandfather told me, was a stargaze song. The woodland, I'll root down, circle round with the white hot ember, folk soul, memory and love forever. I owe to circle round. Sovereignty goddess, now.